Hello, I'm Mike Griffiths. I'm the owner of Zen Dog. Thank you so much for booking Zen Dog for your holiday. I know you're going to have a fantastic time, and this video is designed to show you how everything works and try and give you a bit of a flavour for what Lymington Yacht Haven's all about as well. I'm so sorry that when you arrive at the Yacht Haven, I'm not going to be around to get you onto Zen Dog and show you how everything works and operates, because we live too far away. We live 50 miles or an hour and a half away. But that's the purpose of the video. So let's get started and I'll show you around Zen Dog. So I'm going to start our little tour around up here by the entrance to the marina. There's a Chandler's and general store on the front here. This has got some good basic food stuff to save you the need for a trip into town. So now we're going to drive into the marina itself. And there's all sorts of buildings and businesses around here as we go around. Speed bumps as well. And then straight ahead, that's the bar and restaurant complex. The Haven Bar redone for the 2017 season. Really smart in there. Limited parking here. You won't be able to park out here for too long, but basically you want to come up here. The boat itself is straight on, and we want to go left in the first instance round to the offices. So this is the main building with the restaurant and the bar on the left, and the entrance into reception and the showers and the laundress, etc. Straight ahead there. Go up the stairs for the office and the reception. So now we're going to go up and see the boat itself. We've got to get through the barrier here. So what you do is point the little fob thing that they've given you, this bit here. There you go, at that, and then that'll open the gate for you. So we're now right up in the top car park. Park up here. Down here, this bit, that's the so-called fortress. That's the 4-star loos. Not as good as the ones in the main building, but still pretty good. So you need to come over this way, and you need to go through this bridgehead, the one that's closest to the sea. And if the gates are open like they are there, great, but if not, get the little fob out and put that on there, and that'll slide the gate open for you. Then on the left, there's one of these hand sanitization places, which you'll laugh at if you're watching this in about 2025. As you come down the gangway, on the left, those are just loos. They're good enough, just normal ones. And then we go up this way a little bit, and then we turn left onto M pontoon, M for Mike, and Zen Dog's about 200 metres off up down there in the distance. On the left here, there's a hose, and more importantly, there's a safety ring and a set of steps to get you out of the water should there be a problem. Our recommendation, if anybody did fall in the water, call 999 straight away. Don't mess about, because it's quite hard to get out of the water on these pontoons. So here we are at Zen Dog, and all the back covers are in place, and I'll show you that in a moment. First off though, here's the electric supply, and it comes out of this little box into the blue wire and runs along behind the boat, and then it plugs back in on the left hand side of the boat. Occasionally we've had some electrical problems, so there's a troubleshooting section at the end. So to gain access, you've got to open up the canvas covers here. So all you do is you reach down here, unclip this, and then unclip the other side as well. And what I'd suggest is, if it's a nice sunny day, unzip it all on either side, and then just roll it up. And then when you roll it up, there are clips at the top, and that'll just get it nicely out of the way. So here's the clips at the top all locked in place, and that gives us nice access into the cockpit area at the back. So let's have a quick look at the side decks. To get up on the side decks, you're going to need to take these covers off on the right hand side. Now the side decks covers just unclip there, and then there's a zip here that you need to undo, and then a further clip at the front, and then you need to undo all these poppers here, and then it's a case of just rolling up the covers like we did the back cover. So here's the covers all rolled up, and again they're in the clips at the top, and that's given us now proper access to the side decks. I need to caution you, you shouldn't really go up on the side decks because it's dangerous. There's a chance of falling in, particularly children. But if you do insist on going up there, then you need to do this. One hand for the boat and one hand for you. So as you walk along, you keep a constant grip on things. When you walk along the dimpled non-slip surfaces. So you'll see there's two different sorts of surfaces. There's the dimpled non-slip stuff that we're on at present. Here you go, you can see it very clearly. And that's the stuff you walk on, and you don't walk on the slippery shiny stuff, because if you do, you're going to end up in the water, which isn't a good move at all. But when you get up here, it's very nice because you've got the nice sunbathing cushions here, and just behind them there's some little cup holders that you can put your drinks in. And great place, but hang on to the kids, look after them, and if need be, put them in life jackets before you come up here. So back in the cockpit at the back of the boat now, and all these covers all round here come off in the same way. You can unclip them and roll them all up to let the sunshine come in. And in this table you can lower down, there's a handle underneath, pull the handle out, put some weight on it, push it down, and then the big cushion, this big cushion, drops on top of it, and you push it down to the same level as the seats, and it creates for a really lovely place to sit. Moving forward, the Zen Dog brolly, which I hope you won't need when you're on holiday, just sits there. Please leave that for the next guests. In the warmer months, we have the two sections of the cockpit open like this. Now this is the red ensign flag, and this is a great thing for the kids. They need to put this on the back of the boat in the little holder down here when they first wake up in the morning, and then leave it out until bedtime. It's bad form to leave it out overnight. Let's do a sneaky edit, and I'll show you how we set the cockpit up for cold weather. So this zip here lets you in through this extra canopy, and it rolls back over onto there, so you've got proper access. And then if you want to take the whole thing down, just undo these poppers here and slide the whole thing back, the zip back, and then it will drop into the alcove there. And it makes this whole upstairs area, the front upstairs area, so lovely and comfortable, particularly because there's a TV there and a heater I'll show you in a minute. So there's the light switch. Push it once and you get normal white lights, and if you push it a second time you get groovy blue lights. Looking forward, the helm area is normally covered like this, and you'll see that there's a fire extinguisher on the right hand side, but these are the buttons that open the sliding roof. So pull it back on yourself and it will go beep beep beep. Because I'm editing it, you can't hear that, and the roof will open. When you try and close it, sometimes it sticks, so you have to give it a helping hand. Keep the buttons pressed and just grab it, give it a good old push, and it will close perfectly. Underneath the helm seat, there's a plinth heater, the sort of thing you see in underneath kitchen worktops, and just switch that on and adjust the temperature, and it will keep the whole of the upstairs really beautifully warm for you. Just be careful with the cloth in front though. So just a quick word about the keys. You'll have picked this key up from the Yacht Haven office, and when you first get to the boat, just put it in and turn it slightly and back on itself, and then that opens up like this. In that horizontal position, it's capable of being locked when you're downstairs using the little red button, but there is a danger that your kids could lock themselves in. So if you've got kids left downstairs in the boat, just flip the key back up into the vertical position, and that switches off the deadlock downstairs. But if you're all aboard downstairs late at night, well, just put it back into the horizontal position, and then the deadlock will be capable of being used, and that will stop any dodgy sailors getting in. So let's go downstairs and have a quick look. Be very careful on the steps, they're very steep. So we're now in the saloon, the lower saloon bit. I'll give you a quick look round. So it's got the seats there, and then it's got the kitchen bit over there. So the first thing to consider is down the back here. We've got 2 fire extinguishers there and a bag full of life jackets, which you're very welcome to use should you need to. There are kids' life jackets in there, and I really would recommend, if you've got youngsters on board, if they're anywhere other than down here or safely locked in the cockpit upstairs with the covers down, put them in those orange life jackets just for safety. Okay, so let's have a quick wander around the accommodation. So back cabin down here. Here we go, made up as a double at the moment. You must tell us what you want, because Sam, the cleaner, doesn't know whether you want singles or doubles. There's a telly in there, it's got a remote control there somewhere. There's a couple of sockets there for USB sockets on the plug, but you'll need to bring your own cables. There's a window and a little sofa. Okay, on over here, back to the front cabin. This is the rather lovely front cabin. Now it's got above you here an escape hatch. You can open that and lift it up, but also it's ventilation. And at the moment it's got a sunscreen on, and I would be grateful if you just leave it like that in the daytime, just so that it doesn't pour lots of sunshine in and make the wood go faded. Again, you've got a telly in that corner there. The light switch for this room is here on the door, that one. but also by the bed up there, there are reading light buttons as well, so you can use those. Big built-in wardrobe in here, and we do store some of our bedding and things in here, but other than that, it's free for you to use. Another big wardrobe in there for you to use. Okay, in the cupboards, should you need them, there are electric fans which you can put out everywhere. And I forgot to show you that in here, tucked in the corner here, is an electric air conditioner. It's plugged in, and what you need to do is get that pipe and open that window in the back there and shove the pipe out and turn this round so it squirts into the room. But when you do that, it will keep the whole boat nice and cool. Okay. Now, very glamorous, you have ensuite access into the bathroom from this room, and we'll come back and look at that in a minute or two. Good. So let's just deal with kitchen stuff first of all. So in here you've got a dehumidifier. Here's the dehumidifier. That in wet conditions we'd have left on for you. And when it's on, it's like this. Okay. There's two lights at the top which I've marked with green. Okay. If you go out for the day and it's wet, I would leave it on. Turn it off like that. Okay. And if you, when you leave the boat on your final day, if you wouldn't mind just flicking it back on, it tends to do a funny there. Put that back onto that setting, the ones I've marked with green, and that will keep the boat lovely and dry. Good stuff. Okay. Coffee machine, and there are coffee pods in there. It's a Dolce Gusto one, so if you need to get some more, they're there. Kettle as well. They're low voltage items because out at sea we don't have an awful lot of power with our mains voltage, so that kettle's a little bit slow acting. If you really needed it, the toaster's down in this bottom cupboard and the microwaves above it. That's the full extent of catering facilities. We don't have anything more than that, unfortunately. The gas that should be on the boat is disconnected for safety and for insurance purposes. Crockery down there. Good. Great big fridge in here. And normally Sam will leave you a pint of milk, bottle of water like that, and a little treat like that, just to make your time on the boat a little better. Good. This is one of these squirty things that squirts nice perfumed air around. Good. 4 interconnected smoke detectors, one in the engine bay, one in each cabin, and one here, and there are 2 CO detectors as well. Again, they're all interconnected, so if one goes off, they all go off, and wow, you don't have to know about it. Good. Back here, water heater. In this cabinet here, when you drop this down, here's the electrics. If you had a problem with the electrics, you'd know because it wouldn't show 240 volts on there. If that goes off, it means you've got no mains voltage power, and it has happened before. The pontoons have a habit of tripping out. That's the water heater, on and off, down there. Good. While I'm on the window ledge, let me show you the heating system. It's July, so I don't need actually heating today, but I'll show you the heating system. Here we go. So, what you have is a number of controls. If you leave this switch, this bottom one, down like this, you can control the heating system by remote control by sending it text messages. I'll have sent you the instructions, but with a number, but you send a text to it. Actually, no, sorry, these days you don't. You ring it, not text messages. You ring the number and it goes beep, 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 and that tells you it's come on. And when you get here, the boat will be nice and warm. But if you leave it like that, that won't happen. And if you leave it like that, it's on full time and it's burning up all my diesel fuel, so that's not good either. So when you get on the boat, if it's cold, hopefully you'll have warmed it up. You've got 2 choices. You can press that one, which gives you 50 minutes of heat, and that sets the temperature. So straight up is supposed to be 21 degrees. On the right, hopefully nobody's played with it, but there's a switch there that's heat or it's not cold, it's just ventilation. Never use the ventilation because it seems to, I don't like it very much, it seems to smell a bit really. So that goes off. And in really cold weather, if you're on the boat, just flick it on all the time like that. Okay, so that's now on full time, but please just remember, switch it back when you leave the boat. I mean, if you're just going to the bar or something, leave it on, of course, but if you're going away for any length of time out for the day, if you wouldn't mind just switching it back to the auto SMS button. And the benefit then is, an hour before you get back, just give it a ring, and when you get back, you'll have a nice toasty warm boat. Okay, so when you leave the boat at the end of the day, at the end of your holiday, just put it back to that bottom number 1 setting, make sure that's straight up so it doesn't come on at 30 degrees or something, and that's it. So that's the heating system. Good. TVs, there are TVs everywhere on this boat. There are 4 in fact. They're all smart TVs and they're all hooked up to the boat's Wi-Fi. What I would ask is, if you want to use Netflix or Amazon or anything like that, can you please use our accounts that are there? I mean, obviously that's a problem because you won't necessarily be able to remember what episode of Breaking Bad you've got to, but I promise you, if you try and fiddle around with the remote control to put your own account details in, you wish you hadn't started. It's much quicker to remember and have a little play through the episodes to guess where you should be. It's an awful job if you decide to do that rechanging the accounts thing. So that telly there, that's good. That's the Wi-Fi code on there as well. So Zen Dog's got its own Wi-Fi as well as the Marina Wi-Fi, and the Marina Wi-Fi code is there. Good. Another smart telly in there. One in the back cabin, one upstairs. Good. Bathroom, heads, as the boaty people call it. Okay, light switch, that's there. Click that on first. There we go. Hello. And we start with easy stuff, taps. Left, right, normal tap, easy, easy, nothing to worry about. Good. The loo on boats is always complicated, and this one is no different, okay, but it's straightforward. This box puts blue flush stuff in it, so it makes it all nice and lovely. I'm not going to show you down the loo because that would be improper, I guess, but there are some controls. Okay, so you've got flush and you've got fill. So if I do flush, and you've got to be prepared for the noise. They call this a quiet flush loo, but I promise you, 4 o'clock in the morning, that isn't a quiet flush loo. And then you've got a fill button, which will just put some water back in it again. Okay. Beneath there, this gauge shows you whether the holding tank is full. So everything that you put down the loo goes in the tank underneath the boat, and we pump it out when we can, and it should be plenty for a weekend's worth of use. If it gets full in an emergency, push that button, and that pumps the poo tank, as my daughters call it, out into the sea, which sounds horrendous till you find out that all the yachts that surround us don't have holding tanks. So that's a very good reason, other than the fact it's not allowed, why you shouldn't go swimming in Livington Yacht Haven. It's a very bad idea. Okay, so the shower. Here's the shower. That sits here. You lift it up and you attach it to this at the top up here. I put that on the wall. It fell off, so I'm rubbish at DIY. So if it falls off again, don't think you've broken something. It's just my poor DIY. Okay, and you've got a controller down here, normal, on, off, etc. But I've added this, which is an on-off switch here, because I just find it easier to manipulate it in this small space. Behind you here, there's a shower curtain. Here it is. We can pull the shower curtain across to divide this into sort of wet and dry, and that will work really well. As you use the shower, it will fill up with water down here, and so you don't sink, there's this, which pumps the water out and makes it all go nice and dry again, and that's good. The shower's good, it's powerful, and it's hot, as long as you've had the water heating on for a little while. But obviously the downside is it does sort of flood the whole room, so don't be worried about that. If you did do that, just put this lid down. So just put this down, and that will just cover up the loo and prevent all that stuff getting flooded as well. So that's it. Finally, a little sign up here, which I'd like to draw your attention to. Please don't put anything more than just a few sheets of loo roll down this thing, because the pipes at the back are absolutely tiny and they will block up. There's a loo brush down there. There is a plunger under the sink. There's also some disinfectant under the sink, but it should all be absolutely fine. If you get any problems, give me a shout. Good. What else do I need to show you? No, I think that's all about it. So have a fantastic time, and any snags, do give me a ring, yeah, have a great time. Thank you.